It's the second round of 21 in 2018, and what a picture the Sakhir circuit looks under the lights here in the middle of the Bahrain desert. Welcome along to the Bahrain Grand Prix, an island that you could fit into the city of Shanghai, where we head next week 8 times over. It's lights out and away we go. Vettel gets away very well. Hamilton tries to get past Nico Hülkenberg straight away, and it's Sebastian Vettel from Valtteri Bottas. Kimi Raikkonen on the inside, Ricciardo covering off Kevin Magnussen, Sergio Perez trying to find room around the outside, and it's Vettel into turn 2 he goes from Valtteri Bottas, the Mercedes ahead of the Ferrari, and there's Kevin Magnussen making contact and having to run wide and almost chopping off the front wing of Esteban Ocon. As down towards the hairpin we go now. Magnussen on the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. What a lap it's been for the Haas driver, trying to make places back up again, and that is Sergio Perez spinning around at the hairpin. We're on board now with Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton down in 9th place.
Hamilton busy breaker, changing his brake bars. We saw it on the steering wheel. What utter brilliant madness those first few corners were.
And the madness might just continue as well, as there's cars going off onto the runoff area. Romain Grosjean getting pushed wide. Down into turn 10 we go, and that's Max Verstappen on the inside of Brendan Hartley. Verstappen's making up places and already going very nicely indeed, up into 12th place.
So we're watching, we've highlighted Raikkonen and Bottas because Bottas gets a much better launch, doesn't he? And between the two Ferraris, and Mercedes will be delighted with that because it opens up options. But Raikkonen still got really the inside line, the high ground there, and was cautious on the brakes. And it was Hartley got into the side of Perez there. Brendan Hartley in the Toro Rosso.
I got some damage. Understood.
This is the incident that you can see in front. Hartley and Perez tangling, and Verstappen taking evasive action. Pierre Gasly 5th, Magnussen 6th, and there Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton dueling going into turn 1. Verstappen on the inside, they're going wheel to wheel. Fernando Alonso's going to watch out, and they make contact. Verstappen gets past and almost runs over the front wing of Lewis Hamilton as he moves himself up into 10th place. Who's got a puncture? Looks like Hamilton slowing a little bit. Verstappen's got
a puncture with that contact. Hamilton steams back past, so Verstappen getting punchy. Lewis wouldn't let him go, and it's Max with a left rear puncture and a long way to go until he gets to the pit lane.
You've got about 2.5 miles to try and limp back, and that already, the damage on the rear left tyre.
Oh, mate, puncture. Copy, Max, copy.
And it is absolute double disaster for Red Bull as Verstappen gets a puncture and limps past the stricken teammate Daniel Ricciardo, pulling over onto the left-hand side of the track. So we're on board with Verstappen now, Hamilton ahead of him, and he knows that there is a gap coming at the end of the main straight. Alonso rather squeezed them up a bit. That's where they clashed. That's where Verstappen ran over the front wing of Hamilton's Mercedes. That's where he got the puncture.
Verstappen had the move made. Lewis wasn't going to cut him any slack. I don't really know where Lewis could have gone, and it was the lightest of touches, but the sidewall of the tyres are really stressed, and immediately it's punctured. Hopefully he hasn't got any suspension damage to go with that.
So, super soft tyres go on for Max Verstappen. The engine problem for Daniel Ricciardo started at turn 10 before he eventually had to pull over to the side of the track. Red Bull, no podiums here in Bahrain since 2013. Ricciardo, a 4th retirement in the last 6 Grand Prix, and their gremlins, their reliability gremlins, transferring from last season through to this season as well. The virtual safety car is coming to an end. Quickly down to Paul.
Alonso on the same tyre and Verstappen able to challenge a Mercedes early on in this race. It's not something you normally see.
Thanks so much, Paul. There's contact. Magnussen and Gasly, and Magnussen, for not the first time in this race, has to go off onto the runoff area as well. That car needs to be strong today, the way that Kevin Magnussen's race is going.
Gasly caught a little bit napping there when the virtual safety car ended. But
here goes Hülkenberg, sorry Martin, on Esteban Ocon into the final corner as well. Hülkenberg swoops round the outside of Esteban Ocon. Nice move there from the German driver in the Renault. But now Ocon is wheel to wheel, and we'll see Mercedes power in the Force India against Renault power as well. And we'll see Renault power Alonso against Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Magnussen ahead of Hartley. Hamilton down the inside on Nico Hülkenberg. Ocon might lose out to Fernando Alonso. Hamilton Hamilton makes up places ahead of Hulkenberg, ahead of Alonso, and then comes the Force India of Esteban Ocon. This move has not finished yet though. Alonso is having a go, and Nico Hulkenberg, brilliant moving, brilliant overtaking on the first few laps.
Very opportunistic there from Hamilton. Did he ever make that straight pay off for him? Absolutely brilliant. That is those sort of moves that can make or break your evening when you start the race out of position.
Hamilton,
on the grid,
as you can see, up to 6th place as Stoffel Van Dorn down on the inside there of Lance Stroll in the Williams, and that is Max Verstappen out of this race by the looks of it as well. Was there too much damage after he sustained that puncture? He has pulled over to the side of the racetrack. This is fantastic. The McLaren behind Hamilton. He can just about see the track through the sparks.
And I tell you who did well there, Hulkenberg, because he was outside the field of vision of Hulkenberg's mirrors. It would have been very easy for the Renault to just slam across the front of the Mercedes.
Now, Hamilton fancies a bit of Pierre Gasly, breezes past Pierre Gasly along the straight there, and Hamilton, starting 9th on the grid, is now up into 4th place.
Smart from Gasly. There's no point in fighting the inevitable.
Bottas just took half a second out of Sebastian Vettel's lead. Sebastian Vettel pits. Valtteri Bottas takes over at the front of the field. And let's see how the Ferrari crew go here, and they are responding. Are they? No, they're not. Is that the double bluff by Mercedes there as Vettel comes out? Did the Mercedes pit crew come out and say to Ferrari, oh, we're going to pit Valtteri Bottas, and then not pit Valtteri Bottas? Either way, Vettel comes out onto the track behind Hamilton, Raikkonen and Bottas, who haven't stopped yet. Here's Valtteri Bottas, and as he pits, Lewis Hamilton is making his way down the main straight past our commentary box. Sebastian Vettel is going through the final corner, medium tyre for Valtteri Bottas. They can now go to the end of the race on those medium compound tyres, which Pirelli say are good enough for 40 laps. Vettel's just set the fastest lap of this race. Ferrari on the soft compound tyre. Have Mercedes now switched Valtteri Bottas' strategy? He comes out ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, so they've covered off the undercut there, but can Vettel get to the end of the race on those soft tyres? Does he have to pit again? Could Bottas make it to the checkered flag without pitting?
It's a long way for Vettel to go on those tyres.
DRS for Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton manages to fend him off going into turn 11, but now goes a little bit wider. Vettel's got the inside line going up the hill towards turn 13. Hamilton still ahead of that Ferrari. Hamilton has been on these tyres since the first lap in this race. Sebastian Vettel came in on lap 18 to change onto his soft compound tyres. How long can Hamilton keep Vettel at bay? This is slowing Sebastian Vettel down all the time. He's stuck behind the Mercedes.
And he'll be party mode down the pit straight, whatever they like to call it, because the longer he can keep Vettel at bay, the better. It destroys Vettel's strategy. He's going to have to stop one more time than Hamilton. But look, he's in the slipstream. DRS, nothing Hamilton can do about that.
You can hear the cheers from the grandstands as Sebastian Vettel blasts past Lewis Hamilton and back into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel leads then. And after him, Valtteri Bottas, Kimi Raikkonen, as Lewis Hamilton gets towards the end of the pit lane. This must just seem like an eternity for F1 drivers before he can put his foot down again.
Grosjean tyres are getting quite old now. Magnussen with the soft tyres on as well, the much fresher soft tyres.
I'm just going to repeat the words of Gunther Steiner now on the Haas pit wall. Boys, stop it!
Yes, that all looked a bit unnecessary, didn't it? Because Grosjean was busy trying to position himself, and Magnussen fancied coming back at him, but Magnussen with a damaged car. Remember, he had a couple of skirmishes, didn't he, in the early stages, the very early stages of the Grand Prix. Did Kevin Magnussen?
What the f*** is he doing? Guys, come on.
Well, what he's doing is trying to keep you behind him. But is that necessarily a good idea, Martin, given that Grosjean stopped once, Magnussen stopped twice, is on a completely different strategy?
They don't get out of the way.
Yeah, Magnussen as colourful as ever with his instructions there. And once again, Grosjean is... Well, he's not helping his teammate out here, and he might not be able to defend this because he comes into the pits anyway. That seemed a trifle unnecessary.
It seemed a bit personal, didn't it, considering they share the same garage.
Well done, guys. Oh.
as they blast down this main straight then, edging towards 200 miles an hour as Magnussen pulls out from behind the rear wing of the Force India, swoops past. Ocon thinks, can I get him into turn one? No, I can't.
The gap as it is, he'll come out right behind me, correct?
Hey firm, he's currently 1.3 unsafe to you, 1.3 unsafe.
So let's look at Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton and their respective lap times. Vettel's last lap a 1:34.8 and Hamilton put in a 1:34.3. Starting to come to Lewis Hamilton once again.
Kimi Raikkonen in, and he will definitely... Oh no!
Oh no, Kimi Raikkonen out and has hit one of the mechanics.
And left rear wheel's not on properly.
For the second time this weekend, Ferrari have had a problem with a pit stop, and once again it is an unsafe release with a tyre not fitted properly, and we just look and hope that the mechanic is okay. He's just lying down at the moment. Kimi Raikkonen given the green light to go when everything was not properly attached. I would imagine this might just shut the pit lane for a moment as well. The stewards have confirmed they are looking at an unsafe release investigation after this race.
We are on plan D. Plan D. Kimi is retired for an issue.
Does that go to the end if you can?
I think that's a one-stopper, isn't it? Like, eke this to the end.
Lewis Hamilton just went 0.4 of a second faster than Sebastian Vettel on his previous lap, and Valtteri Bottas went 0.2 of a second faster than the race leader on his last lap. Could the mediums be the right tyre or the wrong tyre? Could Ferrari have got it right? Could Mercedes have got it right? Who knows here in Bahrain tonight?
Hi Lewis, it's James. The main thing at the moment is Vettel may not stop. Just go to tag 2, tell me what that time ends up being, and we'll see where we get to.
Like I said, I'm driving to target. That means I am in tag 2.
Yeah, but he hadn't said that. That was the thing. Hulkenberg now gets past Marcus Ericsson. They just wanted to know, are you in tag 2?
So, good job. Let's just closing Vettel down.
Now he's been freed into a bit of clean air, Martin. He was half a second quicker than Sebastian Vettel through the first sector on this lap, Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, he needs to be getting on with it. If they're going to burn the Ferrari's tyres out, they need to burn his mirrors out as well.
Yeah, yes, exactly. He's gone through that management phase, and this is Marcus Ericsson and Fernando Alonso. Ericsson has the inside line here and has been on those tyres for an awful lot longer than Fernando Alonso's been on his super softs. Is this a battle that Ericsson can make extend for any longer? As down towards the hairpin we go. Ericsson once again has the inside line, but Fernando Alonso is ahead of him and he's up into 7th place. So there's one-stop strategy for Sauber. I would imagine they're still targeting a 10th place finish on this one.
Please let me know if I'm on target.
Sorry Lewis, I could just hear wind noise. Just hear wind noise.
I think we can hear him better than the team, can't we?
Well, the message was, just let me know if I'm on target.
The answer's no. Even the request is a low 1:34, which I think's been acknowledged, and he's doing late 1:34s.
So Esteban Ocon finished 10th here last year, consecutive run of 3 10th place finishes. Oh dear, Perez rather getting in the way there of Lewis Hamilton. Blue flag's being shown, but that really did hold up the Mercedes.
Lewis thought he would go for it, and then thought better of it. And I don't think you can blame the Force India there. He thought better of it, and of course a little bit more brake pressure, and the left front locked up.
I'm getting a bit harem-scarum out there.
I feel like you guys aren't really giving much of a picture. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, Lewis, the target is 34.0. We need to get that pace up, otherwise we will not make the catch. Just focus on getting through these cars ahead. Okay, losing as little time as possible.
Sebastian Vettel forced into a one-stop strategy where Ferrari's initial aim was to put 2 stops down, now has to hang on for dear life. And the gap coming down bit by bit by bit as corner by corner by corner, Bottas has more grip.
There will be no more lapped cars, so just push to close it.
It's all up to you now, Valtteri, is pretty much the message from Tony Ross, who said, we're targeting the win today, and Bottas can now see Sebastian Vettel in the distance, and a Sebastian Vettel that is going significantly slower than the Mercedes is. 2.8 seconds, remember the gap at the end of lap 52. That has now come down, but by how much? The interval, the gap between Vettel and Bottas as they cross the line, 1.7 seconds. Another lap like that, he is in DRS range, and he can gain even more bit by bit.
And we've seen how powerful that is today. 2 detection points around the lap as well, so he might even get it halfway around this current lap, Crofty.
It's like when in Baku, when he made the move on Lance Stroll to finish second in that particular race, he left it right until the line.
He's got it. He's got DRS now down the pit straight. Sorry to interrupt, Crofty.
No worries, he's got it, Martin, but that move to get past the car in front might come down to the last lap and the last little bit as well. Now, as they cross the line, has Sebastian Vettel used just a bit of his energy recovery system, of his ERS power there, just to keep the distance? It's now 0.7 of a second, but Bottas didn't get DRS down the main straight.
I think he did, Crofty, because the detection point was before the last corner, not on the finish line.
No, he did,
that's why he closed right down on him.
He did. Half a second. Forget the times now. You can see it in car lens. Down towards the hairpin, or up towards the hairpin at turn 4. Valtteri Bottas behind Sebastian Vettel. Mercedes power against Ferrari power. They say they're pretty equal throughout the course of this year, but he's got DRS as Bottas, and you can see that he's gaining. You can see that he's getting closer. He's got the power turned up to 11. Into turn 1 they go. Bottas has a little look, but he's just a bit too far behind. Sebastian Vettel survives that one.
So if Bottas gets a clean exit, he can have another look into turn 4. He'll then get DRS. He should do. Down into turn 11, he should have got off the brakes, free-wheeled that in and ran Vettel wide.
So, we're on the last lap, under the lights, here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel, in his 200th Grand Prix start, is on the verge still of picking up that 49th win. Valtteri Bottas will get one more go with a bit of DRS assistance. Hold your breath, whether you're a fan of Bottas or a fan of Vettel, as they go into turn 10 now. Any lock-up here could be crucial. And there was a puff of smoke, but not too much. DRS will open now for Valtteri Bottas, but is he just that little bit too far behind?
Hamilton's closing them down, but he's too late with it. And Bottas is also too late with the attack. He had his one moment. He was a long way. Would have been a brave move. Might have ended up with contact. But Vettel, the wily old Vettel, has kept it where he needed to keep it.
Lap 18, he put those tyres on. He is nursing them home towards the end of 57 laps to emulate Michael Schumacher, Nico Rosberg, Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton, who all won their 200th Grand Prix start. And in his 200th Grand Prix start, Sebastian Vettel wins the Bahrain Grand Prix for a second win in 2018 out of 2 races. Gerhard Berger, the legend from Ferrari, waves the flag for Sebastian Vettel. Valtteri Bottas comes home for second place. What a great effort, only 0.6 of a second down in the end. Hamilton finishes third from 9th on the grid, and Pierre Gasly, stand up and applaud the Frenchman as he comes home for 4th, whilst his teammate battling and scrapping along. There he is, the Toro Rosso driver, finishing 4th on this race.
These tires were done. They were done for the last 10 laps. Grazie ragazzi, mamma mia, mamma mia. Grazie davvero.
Well, what a Bahrain Grand Prix that was. And if those tyres were done with 10 laps to go, what an achievement by Sebastian Vettel to get them home and to bag the win as well. But what a season this now promises to be. Mercedes not romping away with it, and Vettel's won 2 out of 2.
I think I came on the radio 10 laps to go. I have everything under control. I don't know if they broadcast that, but that was a lie, I admit. I was nothing under control. When they told me the pace of Valtteri at that time, I was no way I could do that, and I was making the maths inside the car. 10 laps to go, that pace, he's gonna catch me. Yeah, I really tried to keep it as clean as possible. Obviously, both Mercedes at the end of the stints were very strong already in the first one, and Well, I think by going on to the prime, obviously they saw what we did, but going on to the medium tire, I thought that's chest made because we have to come in again. That was the original plan. Then we diverted, obviously, in the tires. I tried to make them last, nurse them as much as I can, and it worked. So, but just, I mean, it wasn't much, I guess, end of straight for Valtteri. He had a bit of a sniff, but fortunately he ran out of laps, so I'm really happy.